not wanting to, parents, I will address that again as it was addressed during the qualification list that's on our website and what I emailed to you folks. Parents cannot force their kids to come to our school. This is a volunteer program. We are not a punishment, we are an opportunity. So if the kid or the parent says no, we're done and there's nothing I can do about that. If you say no, however, they, the parents behind you, get to make whatever repercussions that they want. Whatever that may mean. And I've had people who said no and have literally left from here, drove straight down to Ted Stevens International Airport, and the family put them on a flight going to the lower 48. I had them ship them outside of Anchorage to other places in the state. That's your parents, they get to do whatever they want to you until you turn 18. Then you can make your own decisions. So I'm not going to try to convince you as to, do you want to be here or not? If you need that kind of convincing, then parents, they probably need to do a more one-on-one orientation so we can sit down and talk about hesitations and stuff like that. And we can always get that rescheduled if we need to. So let's talk about what AMYE is. Have all of you heard about us before? No? Who are you here with, mom or dad or both? Grandma. Did grandma just stick you in the car and say, let's go get ice cream, and you show up here magically not knowing anything about it? Okay. Sometimes that does happen. Okay, so what have you guys heard about my school? I'm talking to the students. Good, bad, or indifferent, as long as you don't use profanity, I'm okay. What have you heard? It's tough. Yes, it is. I'm sorry? Draining? Well, that depends on how much energy you want to put into life. Yes? It's a good experience. It is, if you make it that way. I'll address that right now. It will be the best thing since sliced bread, or it's going to be the worst thing ever created, based on you and your decision. I don't show up out there and say, him, and those three right there are going to have bad days. You guys decide this, not us. You guys make a choice, and then you have to deal with the consequences. So we're going to do something that teenagers always kick and scream and beg for. And then they hate it when we do it. We're going to actually treat you like adults. You say that you want it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Choices and consequences. As most things in life, good choices have good consequences, and bad choices not so much. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to change you. This is not the Matrix. There's no red and blue pills. Parents, I don't crack their skull open, rewire their brains, and send them off as happy little robots. Students, we are going to help give you more skills to help you continue with your success. Every single one of you sitting here are successful. You have been successful. I'm just another tool that can probably help you on your journey to being more successful in life. Because a lot of you don't have a lot of the skills that you need. Some of you did talk about this, some of you looked, we've had some conversations, but these 8 banners that are around the room that we're going to talk about in a bit, these are the 8 main core things. And it applies to not just 16, 17, and 18-year-olds, but nationwide 16 to 24-year-olds are suffering critically in these 8 areas, and that's why we're trying to do stuff to help them. So it will be good, or it will be unpleasant, depending on your outcome. Can you be successful? Absolutely. Are you successful? Absolutely. Will you make it through my program? That depends on you. You have to make a choice. You have to make a choice, and it doesn't mean I graduate high school and that's the end of my journey. That's the start of it. You have to decide every day of your life, are you going to be successful or not? The people in rows 4 and back can want you to be successful. We can want you to be successful. If you don't want it, nobody's going to be able to help you. The whole adage is a horse in water. I can drag the horse to water. I can drown it, but I can't make it drink. I can't make you successful. Also, parents, we will do everything that we can to try to help your kid. But I will tell you, we are also human, and our patience is not limitless. We do kick kids out of our program for a wide variety of issues. If somebody becomes a detriment and they're dragging down other people, I have a choice to make. And I'm just going to start on this end, and I'm just randomly picking people. If I have 2 people out of 50 that don't want to be here. Should I sacrifice 48 to save 2? Or should I play surgeon and cut out 2 cancers and focus on the 48 that are trying to be successful? That's what we're going to do. If you get to the point where you're driving other people down because you don't want to move forward, if you don't want to move forward, fine. That's your choice. But I'm not going to let you drag other people down, and we will kick somebody out. One of the other things, and I normally bring this up later, but it's also one of the first questions a parent wants to ask, what else? Guys, particularly, look at this. This right here, which is the typical teenage male response to anger, is going to lead to this. A nice pair of bracelets with a chain in the middle. APD will show up, put your butt in handcuffs, march you in front of the entire academy while you're crying, stick you into a patrol car, never to be seen again. Parents, we don't tolerate violence out there. Plain and simple. We don't tolerate bullying. If you put your hands on somebody, you are going to get kicked out and you are going to go to jail. Even if the victim's family doesn't want to prosecute and press charges, we, the state, will. Understand that. That is not professionally or socially acceptable. Now, that said, I don't think anybody wants to go, how can I sabotage my life today and just make it go from to horribly worse? If none of you were on probation, it would be a bad thing to wake up and make a decision that would end up on probation. So, not something that's going to be very beneficial for you. Now, we are an alternative high school, which means, yes, we are an accredited high school. There are 56 school districts in the state of Alaska. All of them have something very similar because we're all accredited from the same people, which means I'm just making stuff up. You could be going to Bartlett, and then you could transfer to West, or you could go to Juneau Douglas in Kenai, or go to a high school in Fairbanks. You could transfer all over the state, and your credits are going to transfer. So whatever you earn, and we're going to cover credits here in a little while, they're going to go where you want to. Now, some of the parents had asked this question before when I talked to you guys. It is a tuition-free school, meaning it doesn't cost you a dime. It will cost them a metric buttload of hard work in order to get forward. Now, students, is anything in life ever really free? No. For each of you, that's $36,206 per student. What I used to do is fill this up with 30 students. First 3 rows. Cha-ching, 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 300,000, 600,000, 900,000. Let's just call it here. Here's $600,000 just for this orientation alone. We spend a lot of money on these students because you, not oil, you are the future of this state and this country. I'm going to be honest, I'm scared. Not too awful long after I retire, your generation is going to be running this country. And it scares me. And rightfully so. Your generation has an issue of, for whatever reason, I don't need to complete basic education. This is a nationwide problem. COVID made everything worse across the state and across the country. Right now, there are 250,000 high school students that just poofed and disappeared. They didn't transfer, they didn't enroll in homeschools, they just disappeared nationwide. 250,000 students that are going to have no basic education. You guys are going to be running this country in the next 10 to 20 years. We want you guys to be prepared. So, let's talk about some unpleasant stuff. How do we help you folks become successful? Well, we're going to treat you like adults. We're going to do some stuff that you don't like. We're going to take away